red dot. Obviously, don't put your hand in front of it if you can help it. So that's recording now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you listen then, and I'll.
Right.
Do you get the audio? I'll take it you do. Cause
Yeah,
that's
you
what
do.
it's all
Yeah,
about,
just
isn't
looking
it?
at I'm going to windy day today because sometimes that can affect the sound quality. Right. So, have you driven a van vehicle type before?
Tractors.
Tractors. It's slightly different. There's a tractor there. This is obviously you wouldn't use a tractor to pull your caravan around and such, but so you're used to reasonably large vehicles. Then if you've driven a tractor, you should be driving that down the road.
Yes.
Okay. So you're happy on the controls of the vehicle? I'm going to say they're fairly standard vehicle type controls.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not that high spec, is it?
No, I see. You've got your cruise control on it. So
Okay.
you've got that as well. But obviously you've got your wipers this side, indicators that side. You've got a mode button which can change the centre of your dashboard, as in changing your date and things like that. I'm going to say apart from that, your lights are on the stem. Also you got the intermittent wiper on there as well.
Okay.
And
Is it
in the centre is straight.
one of those things it did actually say on the insurance was about the immobiliser? It got an immobiliser on it.
I'm not sure, to be quite honest. It may be on the key system itself. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure on that particular that thing on these.
And just when we tried it, this seat was very stiff. I don't know if that's been.
Well, as in sliding back and forward? Or?
No, it just wouldn't turn.
I wouldn't turn. I'm assuming so. There again, it doesn't turn. I wouldn't have thought.
It was when we.
Oh, it might do. Yeah, sorry. It doesn't look like it's a turn. Normally you see a side angle one. One of the things, because you've got the bench right next to behind you, that's why I thought it wasn't a swivel.
Okay.
But it does swivel.
It does well, okay.
Yeah, but with that behind it, there's not a lot of advantage of swiveling it around, to be quite honest.
Okay.
The other one you may do, but that's why I thought, because normally you'll see down the side of the seat on usually these models. Obviously it's got that one there, but where the bulkhead is behind it, I can't see much advantage of actually swiveling it around. It does. Okay. Right. So what we got down the side of your van? You see that blue tap there? That is your. See this one down here? That's your drain for your freshwater tank. So you've got an onboard freshwater tank.
Yep.
So obviously you need to top that up. Obviously you need to make sure that's shut before you do that.
Okay.
To get water into your van or into your tank, it goes via this pump out of a water container. You can get a water pipe that goes direct from a tap into your van if you wanted to. As soon as you plug that in, so there's only one way it'll go in, so there's only one way up. You can hear that now, the pump's running. I won't read too long because I've already emptied my Aperol. What you do is also lock that down, so that locks it in.
Okay.
That's operating because the 12 volt system's on. So as soon as you plug it in, it will start drawing water into to top your tank up.
Okay. And does it cut out when it's full?
I'm assuming so. I didn't get it full, so I'm not sure if it does or not. I would assume so, yeah, on this particular model. Okay.
And when you're on the go,
Yeah.
you have your water drained, or do you leave the water in the
I
tank?
would say you just got to be careful on weight. Obviously, it's still a van, and obviously there's still, if you imagine it, obviously it doesn't look loaded, but it is because of all the furniture and stuff like that. So you just got to be careful on your weights. If you've travelled with other stuff as well in your van, and then you've got a full tank of water, you're looking at probably 100 kilos of water, I would think, sitting under there. So you could probably travel with some water in if you wanted to. So if you're just stopping in places, but probably best to drain them every now and again anyway. Fully drain it. So obviously one, it takes the weight off it. Plus water sitting in a tank for a long period of time, obviously you can get stagnant if you're not careful. So it's best to drain it every now and again.
Yeah, and bacteria would
Yeah,
possibly get
exactly.
into
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
saw this 4x2 wooden.
Right, 240 in. So your 240 inlet, obviously your cable, this is obviously my cable at the moment. To put the cable in,
The cable does exist.
I think there's cable inside there. I think you've got a starter pack coming anyway, haven't you, I think,
Yeah.
so it may be with that. Obviously, mine's obviously the spring's gone in mine, but normally you just pull back on that and just slide that on, okay? Make sure you push it fully on, otherwise it can arc. If it's not fully on, then it can actually end up welding the plug to the socket and you're in trouble. Okay, to get it out, just see that lever there. That lifts the lid up just enough to be able to pull it out. Okay. So otherwise, just slide that on. Always connect to your motorhome first. Unravel the cable fully, and then connect to your bollard afterwards. Okay.
Do you want to have a go at that?
Looks.
Usually straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah, so normally that would flap over because obviously the spring's gone on it. Then just lift the flap back up and then it slides on. Okay, obviously make sure you disconnect it before you drive off, unless you've got a very, very long cable. Okay, so yeah, you don't want to be travelling with that obviously not attached slightly. Other thing we've got here is your toilet. So that's toilet reservoir for your flush system. Okay, so that's separate from your main water system.
Okay.
So normally you'll top that up. I tend to use a 2 litre water bottle, put pink chemical in there, top it up with water. Best not to travel with it full. If it travels with full, one, you've got weight issue. Also, if it's too full, it can actually overflow into the van if you're not careful, especially when you're travelling. So you can travel with some in there. Obviously, if you're going to be stopping on the way, you might want to use the toilet. Then obviously you can travel with some in there.
Can you actually see how much is in there?
No. The only time you know it's full is when you look through there and you can see the level, which is it's just if you're just filling a tank up. And then the only time.
I take it you just unlock it with a key, do you?
Yeah. I'll go and get the key for you. So you see you've got 2 keys. Obviously you've got spare. Stuart's probably got spare. Vehicle key.
Yep.
Obviously that's vehicle and ignition key also does the diesel cap. Anything round, normally it's a red insert. It's obviously faded in that one. So usually a red insert is usually for that one. So as you can see, it's just a tank. You just see the level. If it was full, you'd see the level floating there.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you say you put 2 litres in? Did you say?
I tend to use a 2 litre water bottle to top it up.
Okay.
That's what I use. It'd probably hold a bit more than that, I would expect. It'd probably hold at least 5 litres.
Okay.
All right.
And you say you have to. How much chemical do you have to put in?
You put about. It's difficult to say how much. About that much in a cup or whatever. I tend to just tip so much in. Probably say it tells you on the actual container itself how much you actually need to put. It's not much. It's just to smell, obviously to make it smell nice when you're flushing it. Also, it helps to clean the bowl as well when you're flushing it. Okay, in the bottom you've got your waste tank, obviously the fun bit. Right, release that. You can see there's a yellow lever there, look. Just lift that up and slide it out. If it's not sliding easy, likelihood is the waste gate, which is on the toilet, has been left not fully closed. Okay, so best thing to do is just put it back in, go inside, make sure that is closed, and it should slide out easily then. Okay, so before you use it, blue chemical goes in this one.
Okay.
Okay, so you got a small amount of blue chemical and about a litre of water that helps to break down the nasty stuff, obviously before you start using it. To empty it, it's coming out of that hole there. So all you do is obviously take that off. That releases the air, so obviously it allows it to flow out easier. Okay, you can access it through there for cleaning it if you want to, but I tend to just put water in there and just slosh it around a little bit and then just tip it back down as well. You can get other chemicals as well to clean the toilets if you wanted to. Okay, what also is in here is a little float. What the float does is indicate on the main toilet inside with an indicator light when this is full. Okay, so if you do try and empty it or clean it out by sloshing water in it, just be careful. You could knock the float off, then that could end up down the emptying point. Obviously, you don't want to be sticking around down there to go and fish that back out. Okay, but even though that indicator's obviously there, you by just opening the toilet flap when you're inside, you'll see how full it is by just looking through the hole anyway. All right.
Wait, just sort of me being.
Yeah, just lift the yellow lever.
Lift it, is it?
That's it. And just slides out.
And it deposit into there, does it?
Yeah, it will automatically open when you open the toilet flap. Right.
Okay.
Hey? But James won't with me. All depends if he's available or not. All right. Hey? Jet key. You're on Meal Brace. You were been there. It's right next to BP. You went to the BP garage. The one behind it, more or less. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. Right.
So you've got a drain plug there. So
Yeah, we've got this drain plug here is for your flush tank. Okay. Probably best not to try and drain it all through there if it is full. Obviously, it's very, very important for winter that you drain this. That's the likelihood is when you're going to start draining it through there. But the best thing to do is flush it into your waste tank first. Flush it into there, then just drain the last bit there, because if you see where it is, trying to get a container there to catch anything coming out there is nearly impossible. So just drain the last little bit. The benefit of using the flush pump to drain that water out into there is it's actually emptying the pump itself as well. So any water that's trapped in the pump, obviously, if it freezes, you're going to be in trouble. Okay? Happy with that?
Yep, I think
Yeah,
so.
good.
You happy with it?
Right.
Yes,
The
you're
drain below there is your waste tank. So you've got your freshwater tank where obviously the water comes out the taps. That will then drop into a waste tank when it goes down the plug hole, and that's where you empty that. Normally on site, I think if you've been on site, they have a motor, what they call a motorhome service point, where you can drive up to. Normally, if you're parked over a grid, you can just drain straight into the grid.
So that's off the sink and things, basically.
Yeah, and the shower, that comes out for that
Okay.
hole there. All right. So as I said, normally you pull over there and then drain it down, and you might even, if you've got one of these direct pipes, you can plug into the side of the inside of the motorhome. You can top your water up at the same time as you drain it down.
And again, does it sort of tell you somewhere where if
Yeah.
it's full?
Yeah, I'll show you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the water tanks will show levels.
Okay.
It's just the flush tank that doesn't.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Just wind yourself on there. We've just got a bit of grease dropped down from the last caravan we had, so we don't want to be traipsing all in that. Okay, bike rack. Have you had this fitted, or is this already part of the?
We've had it fitted.
Oh, you had it fitted, yeah. Right, so it's reasonably straightforward. As in, you've got clips here, so just be careful. Just be careful you don't lose anything. They can ping off. Nice compressor. I say just be careful with these. They can ping off if you're not careful. Obviously, they're there to hold it when it's up in that position. Just be careful you don't knock them off, because they will come off quite easy. So all you do is put the bike in wherever you want to put it. That will slide to where the wheel is, and all you do is just press that little button there, and that slides out. Thread that through your wheel, and just push that through there, and it'll hold it in position there. Okay. What you've got there is this is for clamping onto the structure of your bike. So your either your crossbar if it's got a crossbar, or whatever other frame you can attach it to. Okay, you still might want to put some security device around it if you're going to be leaving the vehicle. Say you stopped at the motorway services, might be worth putting some kind of chain around it or something just to make sure someone's not going to take it. Okay, just be careful what you're putting on there. I think it's got a weight of about 60 kilo. I think it does say on here. So just be careful you don't overweight it.
Okay.
All right. So we don't want to put some big heavy bikes on there, or big electric bikes can obviously be quite hefty as well. Right, down this side, what you've also got is your gas locker. I've got my gas in there at the moment. I think Stuart said you've got a starter pack coming. So I've just attached my gas at the moment. Okay, what you've got on board, if you've used gas before, you may have used a regulator which might have been attached to the actual cylinder itself. This one is actually attached to the van. Okay, so that's your regulator there. You can use either gas on that, so your butane or propane. So obviously I've got propane at the moment. Propane is better for all year round. Butane, which is the blue bottle, tends to be more of a summer gas. So if you're likely to be using it all year round there, obviously that's the best gas to use. Okay, if you see there has got like a little shut-off valve there. The best thing to do is actually switch it off on the cylinder itself, turn it off. That there is more or less for what the engineers use to gas check it. So that's more or less there for that. What I tend to use that for is if I'm changing cylinders, it keeps the pressure in the system for that period of time while I'm changing the cylinder.
Okay.
And then turn it back on again afterwards. Okay. With you, I don't know if you've seen the propane connection before on this particular one, which is my pigtail. It's on the hand type one. You can obviously get a spanner type one as well.
I'm going to say I'm used to the spanner ones,
Yeah.
but I don't know what to.
Yeah, we've got a hand type one. This is mine actually. So it depends which one they send out from the shop.
It's around the
It could
corner
be-
there, actually.
Is it? Oh, it's here now, is it? I never noticed. Right, yeah, so you've got the hand type one, which is still quite good because we've obviously got a rubber seal.
When you say hand, so you just put it on by
Yeah,
hand?
just by hand, yeah. So it's a reverse thread as well. So if you've ever used gas, it's always a reverse thread on these. Okay, I will put that on there for you after. There's your toilet chemicals, so you got your pink, which is in the top part in the flush tank. Your blue, which is obviously in the bottom half. So we got a filler pipe, which don't think that's going to be any use to you, to be quite honest. Have to see with that, because obviously they've just done a standard motorhome, and that doesn't have a. Normally you'll have a tank you just stick a hose through, but this one's got a pump type one, so that might not be actually any use to you. Then you obviously got your levelling ramps. So you obviously need to. The reason why you need levelling ramps, obviously, obvious thing is one, you could be rolling out of bed because you're on a funny angle. Also, things like the fridge, whatever, don't like running on gas when it's not level either. So you need to get the van level. Normally that means by driving up on the ramps. That's the only way you're going to be able to do it. Okay.
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 Do you have spirit levels or not, or you just
Yeah.
do it by?
No, spirit level obviously you're going to get pretty close because you don't know. Sometimes you think you're looking at something level and the lay of the land may be like that and you think it's level. I can't think where it is now. Is it in Yorkshire or Derbyshire? There's a road that's actually looks like that and it's level. I can't think where it is now. So you're better off getting a spirit level. Any spirit level, you can get these cheap ones at pence, or you can get obviously more possible. It depends on. Some people put them on the dashboard, but obviously it's got to be on a level point on the dashboard to be able to do that. Just as easy just to put it either on the step or just inside the van or on a level surface. Right. What you've got here is your fridge. So it's what here. It's the fridge vents, I should say. The fridge is behind there. Okay, these are winter fridge vents. Okay. In the winter, believe it or not, the fridge needs to be warm to cool. Okay. So if in the winter it obviously can't get cold enough because it's cold already, it struggles, so you need them vents on. Obviously in the summer you don't need them vents on. Alright? So you can take them off.
So you manually do that, do you?
Yeah, that's it, yeah, it's just straightforward. So hopefully I'll get them off. So just pop off like that and you just click on. You can put that off inside there for now. You wouldn't need them during the summer. It's just for the winter.
Okay.
Or really cold weather.
Well, they are talking about a bit of frost around at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, it should be all right now. I would think this time of year now, it should be okay. So you soon warm up anyway. Okay, right.
And what's the top?
You got a wind out awning. I'll show you that after.
Okay.
It's
and that thing.
that's what it's called, an awning light,
Okay.
which is on the button. Just it's on the control panel, which I'll show you in a second.
Okay.
All right. Okay. What you've also got obviously is a step. Just inside the doorway is a button. You just press the button and obviously that automatically comes out. Normally when you switch the ignition on, that will come on automatically, but obviously double check before you do move off that is in.
I'm going to say, do you have to? You just have to manually check it.
Yeah. Well, just checking. You should be able to see in the mirror. Make sure it's gone in. Okay. Obviously, the other important thing is if you pulled into a lay-by, obviously to stop. Normally, you'll probably all you'll do instead of coming out and coming in, you'll probably just come out straight through from your driving position or passenger position and into the van.
Yep.
Just be very careful. You don't just open the door and go back out through this door because you forgot about it. The step might not be there. If you go and step out and that step's not there, it's going to be nose first into the ground and it's going to hurt. Yeah. So just make sure before you step out that it is there. Otherwise, it's going to hurt. Or sometimes if you just flick the ignition and off again, that might have gone back in again. So just double check. All right. Okay. If you'd like to go inside.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Everybody go, and I'll follow you.
Right, well, I'm stuck here because if you want to go in, because I've got the
Okay.
control panel, which is right by the doors, which is easier for me. Easy to me to stand here to explain. That's it. If you come back here. So we've got a control panel here. So, and if you're aware or not, the van can run without any electrical connection. So it can run off 12-volt systems. That is to switch 12-volt systems on. You still need to, even if you've got electric plugged in, you still need to switch that on. Okay? Because it's got everything in the background runs on 12 volts. Okay? Even though you've got electric plugged in. Water pump. So that will pump the water from your onboard tank to your taps. Auxiliary, which is the awning light outside there. Then this one here is for switching battery. Okay, so at the moment it says vehicle battery. You do not really want it on vehicle battery. Just make sure it's on leisure battery. So if you see that, I've just changed it to vehicle battery again. The blue lights come on. You don't want that on really. If you're on the site or on the side of the road and you use the vehicle battery, you flap that, you're not going to start the engine. Okay, so you want to make sure it is on leisure battery, which is showing. You can see that then it was showing the level of it, which is good. It tells you good. But 14.1 volt, that's quite good. Okay, there's menus that you can scroll up and down, so you can check your vehicle battery as well. Main supply is on, which is good. Freshwater tank, so that's telling me what percentage rise that your fresh water is now. Okay, it goes up in 25% increments. It's not 100% accurate. Okay, so it might be, when it says 50%, it might be nearly 26%.
Okay.
So it could drop down. You think it's 50, it may say 50 for quite a while. Then wastewater, which is saying 0% full, which sounds a bit strange because you think, well, 0% empty, you would have thought, but it's 0% full. External temperature will tell you. Battery current, So what it's operating using. Pump select, you can select the pump on that one as well. External both, so you've got both. So you've got the pump that's pushing the water in from outside in your water container. So that pump there pushes the water in. Then the internal one, as I said, puts the water from your freshwater tank to your taps. Okay, tank fill is off at the moment. I think this is on a slightly different system on this one, because as soon as you plug that in, it was operating.
Yep.
So you don't need to put tank fill on. Clock set, so you can set your clock from there by pressing that on there. You can set your hour, or set your minute. You can set an alarm as well. You can set hours and minutes, and then you can switch alarm on or off. An event timer, you can also set an event timer to come on, so it switches the systems on at a certain time. Then this one here is just your main control panel, saying what you're operating on and temperature wise, and that's the actual system it's running on. Not you need to worry too much about that. So the main ones, all you need to do is make sure you put your 12-volt systems on when you get in. Don't switch your water pump on straight away, which I did, and obviously you can get yourself into a bit of a mess if you do that. Okay, the reason for that is, you can see obviously when it's all closed down, taps are not in the correct position. Okay, if I've switched the water pump on and haven't checked my taps, you can see where water is likely to go.
Yep.
Okay, same with the bathroom. Make sure that's the same as well, because it can end up with the shower pouring water everywhere, and also the drain down for the boiler, which I'll show you now. So before you try and get water through your taps, always make sure you go through this process of making sure everything's shut down or closed. Right, so just under here, so that's your leisure battery. Okay, what we're looking at is this down here. So this is actual drain switch, or drain down valve for your boiler. Okay, if that is not closed, or it's not shut, when you try and put water into your hot system, it'll just go straight down onto the ground outside underneath your van. Okay, this is a thermostat one, so if the temperature drops below 4 degrees, it will actually dump the water out the boiler, okay, onto the ground outside. So it's a safety device, but it's not protecting the rest of your system. So all that is there is protecting your boiler from getting damaged. It's not going to protect the rest of your water system. So if you're relying on that to stop your rest of your water system freezing in the cold weather, it won't. If you're in it and using it, obviously the warmth of the van will keep it warm, and it won't drop. But if you're parked up and it wasn't being used for over winter, make sure you do drain it down. To drain it, all you do is just turn that, or if the thermostat operates, this little button pops out. Okay, so before you obviously try and get water into your hot water tank, just make sure that's pressed in and stays in, and that's in that position. Otherwise the water will just go straight back out. If it stops pushing in because it's too cold, you're going to have to get the heating system up and running first to warm your van up. It's probably best to leave this open just to allow that to warm up, and then once it's warm enough, that will stay in. You'll have to press it and it should stop in. Alright?
Okay.
That makes sense? Hopefully.
We'll learn.
Yeah, well that's it. You guarantee you'll do it a few times before you realise you'll open the hot water tap trying to fill your boiler for water running, or one of you be outside, there's water under the van, and then you just check that. That's the likely one where it's going to be running out the bottom of your van onto the ground. Okay. Right, so we check that, make sure that's shut, make sure all the taps are shut, then you can switch the water pump on. Which is just a matter of switching the button on there. You see the blue light on the control panel? That's to say it's on. Okay, so that's off, that's on. So what you need to do then is operate the tap. I'll just operate up on the cold first, just to make sure I've got water coming through. I have primed this already, so normally you'll see a lot of spluttering in air trying to get through. Then, if you've drained it all down previously, you need to get the hot water tank filled up. So the way to do that is open it up on the hot side. What you'll see, you'll get a lot of air and splutter because the container, which is the hot water boiler, is about 10 litres. So 10 litres of air has got to come out through that tap on the hot side. Okay, so once you get a solid stream like that, you know your hot water tank's full. But if it starts spluttering, then obviously there's still air in there. Okay, and you see there's a bit of steam coming off that. It's not instant heat. Might be starting to do a bit of air in there. I'm still saying 50% full. Right. So once you've got a solid stream, you know your hot water tank is full. Okay? Happy with that
Okay,
bit?
yep.
Yeah. Make sure you do the same with each tap, just get all the air out of the system. Otherwise the pump you'll hear the pump continue to run for a little period of time because it works on pressure or back pressure. Okay, if there's a bit of air, it takes that bit longer to squash that compared to with water, which is obviously a lot more solid, and it'll switch the pump off quicker. Alright?
Yep. Okay.
Good?
So just to stick it in my own head,
Yeah.
that whether you're on the mains electricity on site,
If you're using it, just switch that on. Yeah, even if you've got no electric or you have got electric,
yeah,
that will switch all the 12 volt systems on, so always switch that on,
okay,
even if you've got electric.
okay, yeah,
But you can use it without electric. So even
Right.
switching it on, you'll have 12 volt lights, you'll have igniters for this, that and the boiler.
And how long would the leisure battery work for that?
It's difficult to say. If you switch everything on, it's not going to last long. You just go dunk, 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 everything switched on, it probably lasts a day if you're lucky.
Okay,
Alright, but if you're obviously more careful with it, so only use the lights when you need it. If it obviously going away in the summer and you're not on, you've got no power, you're not going to need to use the lights too often. But you might need the fridge will be run on gas, but it needs the 12 volts to ignite it. So you've got the igniter on that. Same with the cooker, but there again you could just light it without having to use the igniter if you wanted to, because that's where it uses the power. Also the boiler, that also can run on gas, but needs the 12 volt side of it for the igniter. Okay, so if you're careful, you might get a couple of days out of it. Depends on what you're doing.
okay.
All right. So we've got water in the system now. You're happy on how to do that? Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You think? Yeah. Like what we've got next is your heating and your hot water system, which is this little control panel here. Okay. So there's two sides to it. One side is the energy select. The other side is switching it on and selecting what you want to do with it. Okay. So if I put that to there now, that's 0 there. That's off. You see everything's gone off now. Okay. So this side is just selecting what you want. So that flame icon there is not gas, it's heating. They like to do this just to confuse people, right? So that one is heating and hot water. That's heating on its own. So say your thermostat is not allowing it to stick in because it's too cold. If you set it to that, and it will heat the room up, and then that will allow that to click in to stop it from dumping the water out each time. Or you've got options of, this is probably more of the summertime, if you just want hot water. So 40 degrees or 60 degrees. Okay, but most time, the cooler months, that'll be the setting more than likely, heating and hot water. Okay, so if you see there it's got a green light, that means it's okay, it's ready to go. Or it's operating, I should say. This side of it, as I said, is your energy. So the top one, go on.
You're going to say, where's the green light?
Can you just see it
Oh,
inside
yes,
there?
okay.
It's just a bit faint, but you can see that. Right, this side of it is your energy. Okay, so you got them two little digits, that means electric 2, electric 1. The difference between that is if you imagine 1 is 1 kilowatt, 2 is 2 kilowatt. It's not, it's slightly less, but if you imagine it as that, it's easier to think about. So electric 1, electric 2, gas and electric 1, and gas and electric 2. So that's a combined energy, so you're using 2 energy. So in the summer, you more than likely, as I said, you probably just want to heat the water up. Electric 1 or 2 probably efficient enough to do that. Okay, but what you've got to remember is what you've got heating this van up and the water is 1 unit, which has got 10 litres of water in it, and it also takes the heat off it to blow air into the van to warm it up, which is very, very good and efficient. But if you're trying to do 2 things which are really cold to start with, they're going to struggle to get both temperatures up. Also, 1 or 2 kilowatts is not a lot of power. If you've got a kettle at home, electric kettle, that's probably about 2 kilowatts, could even be 3 kilowatts, and it's only trying to heat up, what, 2 or 3 litres of water? The boiler on here is trying to heat 10 litres of water and
Everything
this
else.
space here. So if you imagine at home, your kettle's not trying to heat your kitchen up, is it? It's just trying to heat the boiler water. So you think 2 kilowatts is going to struggle. In the winter, you're going to likely to want to heat more heating here and hot water. So the energy you select is probably either gas, or you could do it on a selection of both.
And those are all off the battery.
No, that's electric. So if you didn't have electric connected, all you could do operate it is on gas. Okay.
Okay.
So that's electric, 240 electric, and then the gas on its own, and then electric and gas. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You sure?
Yeah.
Right. So in the winter or the colder months, you might want to select both. Okay, so that is giving you a lot more energy. Then you're probably looking at a combined, say, 4 to 5 kilowatts of power.